Good morning, good evening, and good classmates of Learning League slash teachers slash students slash people who actually aren't really enrolled in Learning League, but could be enrolled. Checking this out for the first time, it is going to be L3IRD, the bird, getting in some words for Learning League. Just going to be saying some things real quickly. Thank you again to all the sponsors: XMG, Mad Cats, Triton, BenQ, and AdTech for sponsoring the show, and also Definite Esports, D-Esports.com for providing all the entertainment that we see here today. You can go check them out on the links over here below. All that goodness right there, and also on the main site d-esports.com. But welcome, good morning, good morning class. It is going to be a back to school night, back to school day episode. It's going to be one of probably 4 parts, I would say, more than 3, but probably going to be 3 hopefully, just because it is kind of a, I would say, not mundane, but a interesting topic to talk about. It is going to be back to school. We're going to be talking about just really, really basic stuff about League of Legends in general, but also we're going to be talking about what, new things about these basic little concepts of new game modes, stuff like old game modes as well, and then looking at some of the really cool things that will be happening for what we saw on MLG, that a lot of people are doing now, which is a little 2v1 lane over at top lane, 1v2 over at bot lane, such like that, and you put it on aggression and then analyzing that a little bit further. But other than that, just welcome again. If you are listening, check in the chat room whenever you want to. We're about to get into a little bit of discussion about Dominion. Yes, I said that's right. Dominion. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't think Dominion's really a serious mode of a game. People sadly don't give it its credit, and it's actually a really, really fun game. There is a tournament that's hosted every Saturday called Dominate Dominion, and it is a really, 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 really strong thing to watch, and it shows off so many things about Dominion that really somebody would never ever think about. Like, seriously, you would never think that there would be so much competition, and it's really, really cool to watch. I'm gonna go plug it really quick to twitch.tv/dominate dominion. But we're gonna go right into a Dominion game, explain some of the tactics, and then go from there, and then talk about Proving Grounds really quickly, and then pretty much end the show with a little bit of just instances of Summer's Rift. So don't worry, for those fans who are already knowing about Dominion and already know about Proving Ground and all the other game aspects, we're going back to school today. So we're just going to be starting from where we are. So here we go. And going back into it, whoa, hi. It is going to be a Dominion game really quickly, so we're going to be really quickly just checking out the spectator mode again. Not a lot of people use the spectator mode for Dominion because it's Dominion. It's not really supposedly a competitive mode, but for me, I've personally casted one of the Dominate Dominions over on twitch.tv Dominate Dominion. Yeah, it is a really, really, really exciting thing to watch. And we're going to be watching out in this exciting game of in Dominion. If you can hear it, hold on. I can't hear it right now. Sorry about that. There we go. So Dominion, pretty much, in a sense, sorry about that. I'm going to put that down a little. Dominion, in a sense, is a 4v1 in a sense. The objective of the goal is pretty much to do. Okay, yeah, the objective of the goal is to get all the points down and everything. Let me just cut that out really quick. The objective of the goal, really, for competitive Dominion is pretty much taking care of most of the points, neutralizing when you can to get more of the point of advantage, and getting that pretty much pace to keep it all together. So really, you want to keep this point up, the windmill point over the top lane, and also the boneyard point right over here for blue team. If you're red team or purple team, you want to go straight up on the quarry or boneyard and then up on the top with the windmill. Usually when you start out a game, sorry we couldn't join up the game from the start, you have to go 4-1 as a split. You want to have one defender over at bottom lane capturing down over in this bot turret, but also 4 people rushing up to this top lane to actually get that point, get all that information in / get that point neutralized so that you can actually hold the point and keep the score. You do see the UI. There's two things. You can go look at points captured and neutralized. You can also check out the KDA or kill death assist. But really quickly, I wanted to point out some of the spells. In Dominion, like in Proving Grounds, which we'll talk about later, there's one spell that you really need, and it really makes or breaks a game, literally, in the game of Dominion. In Dominion, you have to take the Summer Spell Revive. Revive is such a must in this game of Dominion. Just because with a Revive, you can actually still try to capture this point over at top lane, which is really important from the beginning go. Like, seriously, this is the most important point in the game, period. But in the beginning, if you can catch that point and neutralize that point, that really snowballs the game for the early go and that early kind of lane phase, I would say, if you want to say that. So we do see about 3 on the team of blue having that revive summer spell, but only none on the team. Oh, actually 1 on the team purple actually getting that summer spell. Summer spell revive. Sorry about that. But really quickly, I mean, that is really the thing to really recapture points, but really have to control the map. And as much as I harp and hone in on having control on the map for Summoner's Rift, this is about the same thing of having control on the map plus actually winning the game for Dominion. So really cool to see Team Blue really pushing it on and having that little global presence. Another thing you really see in the team in Dominion, which Blue team is a little bit more successful, is mobility and tanks. You want to have mobility and disruption. That's actually the 2 bigger things in tankiness and all that damage and stuff. If you have mobility, you can actually move around the map like you see with Ezreal right now. Just going around and just kind of hitting down and disabling / disrupting team members from actually catching and stuff like that. I don't think Zenel is the best, but he does have some mobility-ness. Definitely Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank has that overload, can really just run all the way up, run all the way down from bottom lane. I mean, that is really one of those really key factors that you need for Dominion, sadly. And like the moniker that I hear from Dominion people supposedly is a lot of these champions aren't really balanced. I mean, the new champions aren't really balanced for Dominion, and like it's only balanced for Summoner. They don't really think about Dominion too much, supposedly. And I kind of agree. There's some things that Jace does that is really broken, like Acceleration Gate, you know, the Pulse Fire, which actually destroys and disrupts big waves and camps and such. And it really is like a difference maker once you have like a new champion. And you know, you can't really do too much but just play with it. But yeah, that's pretty much the main thing about Dominion. You want to disrupt, you want to get these catch points, and you want to just control as much as you can. But pretty much control this point so that you can easily just kind of move around and get around and capture other points. Other than that, really, the item builds are kind of similar, it's kind of the same. You don't really see any big differences. You don't see any big differences of actually getting those Dominion items. Sanguine Blade's a really good pickup. Entropy is a really good pickup. Entropy is pretty much Frozen Mallet, but just with that BF sword. We do have people picking up Sanguine Blade, which is actually the replacement of Bloodthirster, which is actually a really great item once you put it in the stats all together. So that's really cool to see. We do see this point neutralized right now, and so that means everything is tied out. Purple team really needs to just capture that point to actually do something with it, and actually, you know, make sure that they can actually come back from this. We're not going to actually watch the whole game, but just point out some little things like that. So other than that, we do have little things like the health relics and speed relics, stuff like that. Health relics respawn pretty much about every 1 minute, I would say, 30 seconds to 1 minute. You do pick them up. I mean, it's a good boost of health. That's why you don't really need any gold for 10 items per se, but you don't really need any just health regen items in general to help you out or to put you down, if anything. Speed relic is just to get that mobility, but usually you already have that extra mobility with like even Evelyn with her her W now, the Dark Frenzy. but also with just having that extra speed buff with the speed relic, you can get pretty mobile and actually recapture points from other places. So having that extra mobility, especially for the blue team right now, really can break out of just having that norm, 4 people at top, 1 person at bottom. Other than that, it's pretty much just exciting action overall. Like in Proving Grounds or like in Summoner's Rift ARAM or so, you do see a lot of death, you see a lot of killing, and you see a lot of damage just come out from both teams. And it's really cool to see, but it's also really notable if you can get into the action, because for me trying to cast it for first few or two times, it's just super fast and super high action awesomeness right there. So I mean, it is the thing to watch if you're actually kind of sleepy, kind of tired, and you see like a CLG and A game versus everybody, and they just farm it out for 30 minutes. Watch the Dominion match, play it out, and see what will happen, or even play in a Dominion match and just see how much action actually comes out when it's actually strategized and actually really, really cool to play in. Other than that, yeah, it's a really cool game mode. People should try it out. I mean, I like it. I haven't played Dominion probably for about a month though, just because I've been just working on ranking up myself. But it's a really cool event. If you want to go check them out, again guys, it'll be twitch.tv/DominateDominion. They have a tournament every Saturday, and you can go check out all the action on there, and you can check out all the item builds and all that other stuff on there as well. But yeah, that's pretty much that little portion of that show, and we're not going to go right to a break. We're just going to go right into the next portion. But I'm going to pause this. But sorry about that. Yeah, it is a really cool thing to watch out for. So more people are playing Dominion in the sense that there's actually competition. So if you want to get into competition, you definitely should check out the thing I'm going to post in the chat room right now. But also the website, if I can find it really quickly, is bing, bing, bang, bang, is dominatedominion.com. So if you want to go sign up for the next competition, next tournament, it's a weekly tournament, and there's usually about 1 to 3 teams that know the meta so well that it just kind of happens, and you can't really do too much about it. You can go there, but you can try out the tournament. They're all really friendly people and really cool to see, and you can check them out at dominatedominion.com to really check out what's going to be the thing to play at and stuff like that. But lastly, if you want to actually just try out some games with some of the pros over at Dominate Dominion, go to the in-game chat room, Dominate Dominion, and you can check them out for all that goodness and all that awesomeness right there. Anyway, so we have that Dominion, awesome game mode, and I really like playing it when I get the chance to play it. If I get the chance to play it, which is quite often pretty never, just because I am a tryhard, and I am trying to rank up as much as I can yet again. But also because it's a really hard game mode to get into, just because once you get to a certain point in your elo. So if you didn't know, the Dominion does have elo. If you win, you lose one. It's just like rank elo, so you can win as many as up to like 2.5k elo or stuff like that. You can go down as much as 900 elo in Dominion. So yeah, if you want to go check that out when you play, and you get to this 15-minute queue timers, and you start seeing the same people over and over again. Yes, there is 15-minute queue timers for Dominion too, so that's always fun to see. But yeah, once you get to that point, you made it, and you're pretty competitive, and so that would be something to behoove you if you actually want to try that out. So we're about to get into the second portion of the show. Again, this is going to be a pretty short one again, and it's going to be L3ID, the bird, getting some words, and we're going to go shout out to the sponsors again right quickly, Exogen Triton, Cat, BenQ, and also Antec. Thanks again for watching and being awesome. But we're going to go right into it. Proving Grounds is the next topic. So Proving Grounds is a really cool time waster, I guess a lot of people would say. People who Q dodge a lot, person that's talking, is gonna be doing this just to kind of kill times like in Q times. Pretty much, so that's a new system of ranked slash. It's a new system of queue time just happened, where you can actually just miss the queue from first off overall, but also when you can, you're going in the rank, you see that there's a troll or something, or somebody goes AFK or something, and like that happens, then yeah, you can go straight up and go to this game, play about 2 or 3 of them, and get back to queue. Again, this game is called Proving Grounds. It is the custom map of League of Legends. It's one of the custom maps you can go see. And it's a really cool map. I really like this area, this little ditty. It came from the tutorials of Proving Grounds from before. If you ever knew about it, it was the there's just the one lane. You try to farm some minions, you farm some creeps, and it was the Ash tutorial. So that was really cool to see. But they changed it to a murder bridge per se. I guess that's what the best kind of description of the game of League of Legends would actually provide of it. So, murder bridge. That's what some people call it. Some people just call it Proving Grounds, whatever. I call it murder bridge as well. It's a really cool map. Pretty much you get random people. Usually they can have blind pick or you can have a tournament draft as well. But usually it's ARAM, which is all random, all middle, which is technically what this game mode is. And you pick just random people and you try to win out with your team comp, and you can get some really cool comps. Like a lot of poke coming up from this purple team, which is probably one of the best things to have in ARAM. If you have a poke comp with your teammates, it'll beat out pretty much anything other than a very tinky team with a great DPSer. Which technically they aren't that great of a pinky team, which is blue team, and they don't actually have a real AD carry as well, ADC or a range ADC, so that's not gonna really help them out. But they're gonna go Baylife and do that stuff, and that is really the coolest thing about ARAMs is going and being nan node-ish, as a lot of people would say, and trying to just get kills, trying to do some damage, and get some sneaky kills like what they did just with Zillion right over there. So the difference between Proving Grounds and the difference between all the other matches is it's more of a fun map. It's more of a test of how to position yourself when you have a big team fight. So many people don't really deconstruct it a little bit with Proving Grounds, because many people don't really think it's an actual big event. It's just whatever. You just see people, you kill people, you get it done. But in the game of League of Legends, every map has its little purpose, and really for ARAM / really for Proving Grounds, it's your nourishment of playing different characters that you've never played before, because it's random. You can never know who you're gonna get. But also knowing what your positioning is on the map and how much damage output you can do, plus what you can do as a team. Usually you see a lot, if you see a real ARAM team, which really quickly, the people at Killstone Gaming did host a ARAM tournament, so that was a really cool thing for them to do. But if you see a really competitive ARAM team, you really notice that they know what their positioning is, they know what to do about just where they're at and what to kill, and pretty much all that generosity during that team fight instance, so that you can get more gold, get more experience, and then just keep on winning. So it's pretty much one of the basics, pretty much the biggest thing about ARAMs is learning about your positioning, learning what to do about picking off, what you can chase, what can't you chase. I mean, the biggest thing is these towers. I mean, they do a lot of damage actually, and you can get killed pretty early and pretty decently within it. So having that kind of practice over in ARAM really will help you out during the Summoner's Rift, and thinking about when you're positioned in this 5v5 battle, maybe early or maybe during that mid game kind of status, what to do about that and what to do in this kind of random situation. So leaning on that point, really this is actually a really great practice map if you're a 2v2 or a 3v, not 3v3 really, 2v2 or about 5v5 kind of tournament draft, kind of custom draft. You like wait up about 6 minutes, or you just farm up for about 6 or 7 minutes, get that extra gold, get that XP, and then kind of fight out team fights and stuff, just so that you can practice what you can do. Like that flash out by Ziggs, great job, just getting that escape and then trying to get some extra DPS before ultimately getting down to explosive cast. I mean, that is really just the way you can practice out. You saw it before with pro gamers when they play like really trolly games, supposedly, right? When they really just want to practice out on just, you know, having fun. And having fun when you troll, supposedly, well, most of the time, like when I do it too, like you just want to practice what you can do, what you can get away with, and what you can gamble with. Because when you have those troll kind of games, or when you have those games where it might be really down and out, you can't really do too much, having those extra plays or having that extra like noticement of what you can do to like even suicide right there with Annie and Mundo right there, or even when you can like just get in and get out. Noticing those plays actually came from practicing this out from before. I mean, you don't just do it live and then just hopefully get it. It's calculated, like what Hotshot GG would say, or like what Robert X Lee would say. It's all calculated. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, it's a really good time. It was a really good thing to use for time wasting. Really good thing to do for anything you want to do with, you know, just playing around with your friends stuff. And it's really quick. So if you want to, you know, do some games with a lot of friends that you have on your friends list, you want to play Proving Grounds because it makes it a little bit faster just to rotate and get everybody around in the game of League of Legends. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I really like this mode. I really thank Riot for actually thinking about the members and actually thinking about what you can do for people to have a little bit more fun, a little bit more time with the game of League of Legends, rather than just wait for 30-minute queue time right after you do dissipate from a ranked game by accident or so. It's a fun thing. Alright, so the last thing we'll be talking about is gonna be a little bit of Summoner's Rift, a little bit of a 2v1 switch up, and then we'll go from there, answer a little bit of end questions that I've missed from the beginning of the show from back to school, and pretty much just end the show right there. Really quickly though, if you guys want to go see some more Proving Grounds action, other than what I'm going to be doing after the show today, you want to go check out the Twitch page, twitch.tv/L3IRD. Next week, I'm going to be starting a Proving or no, I'm not going to be starting, but I'm going to be shoutcasting a Proving Grounds 2v2 pretty much tournament draft tournament. It's going to be about 96 matches all together, and I'm probably going to be solo casting in pretty much all of it. So it's going to be a really fun thing to really do, and it's going to be really exciting to really see the dynamic of what people do with the 2v2ness of the Not Fair Not Legit tournament. So do check that out. I will post the link probably in the description during the YouTube video. Other than that, I will just drop it down in the Twitch bar of links. Alright, so we got one more thing to talk about. Yeah, today is going by a little bit quickly, but this is pretty much what I wanted to get through. But I noticed when I started this kind of series I was thinking about all the bruiser lanes and all that stuff, I didn't want to actually slice it up into a two-part episode like I usually do with all my other League of Legends Learning League videos, just because it's pretty easy but pretty tutorialistic if you just kind of compact it all into one little session and be a little bit more concise with it, rather than having these little bit of 15-minute sessions where it's going to be about, what, 6 or 7 episodes or 8 parts. I mean, that's a lot of things just to watch out for. So we're going to go right into the next and final thing. I was watching a ranked game yesterday, I was watching MLG. I mean, who wasn't watching MLG Summer Arena, where they had Azubu Blaze versus TSM. I mean, that was some major epic games right there, and especially that 1.5 game / that 2 game. That was pretty epic. I won't spoil anything. I will just say TSM adapted to the situation, and Azure Blaze adapted to that situation as well. And you know what? I really, really applaud Azubu Blaze for coming out, showing so much onto that gaming arena. It did so well with that, and also the TSM to really seeing what um, Korea really showed to the world, and pretty much how it will really interact against the NA people, and especially since this is August 6th, August 12th, 11, August 11th or August 10th or something. So in 4 days, 5 days, they're gonna be playing again as Zulu Blaze and TSM for the IPL face-off. So that's gonna be really interesting to see. I'm just saying, like that's gonna be fun to see as well, because that means you're gonna see yet again Zulu Blaze try to beat out TSM, or TSM trying to eke it out against them. I mean, that's gonna be fun to watch. So I won't drop that thing because you'll see it on the IPL stream, no problem indeed. But other than that, like yeah, the 2v1 lanes have been popping up so much, just because a lot of people want to do it. Slash, a lot of people are adjusting to the Korean meta where they want to push down the towers super fast. I mean, you've heard me before hark on, don't push power so fast. Kind of farm up just a little bit more so you can get the items and still work it out. But if you're in a ranked like team, if you're part of a team that is just like a Zubu Blaze, I mean, you can't just miss out on this. You really can't. So we're gonna go right back to the drawing board again, guys. Sorry about that. And here we go. Again, we're gonna go start up a game. It is gonna be ranked about 2.0K. 2.0K. Elo game. So really cool to see. We do have the Fiddle top lane, which is really interesting to see for the purple lane. And we do see the Karthus going to be disconnecting. Probably they all do come back in. It's a standard game pretty much from the start. It's really cool to see from that. Other than that, I mean, really quickly, I really like the positioning where Team Purple is. Again, this is what I hark on people sometimes. When invades happen, you want to have everybody grouped up first of all, but also you want to know where the other team is. If you can find where the other team is from the early go, then you don't have to worry about really an invade. As long as you can see about 2 to 3 people, you can generally guess you'll be fine, unless you can't 2v1 or you don't have a real escape motion out onto the top lane, which we did see a lot of face checking happening over in this bush. That's really the problem with being the top laner, because you're gonna be the first one trying to check out that red and trying to do something with that. Okay, so let's go skip all that because I don't really want to care for that. I want to go to the lane phase really quickly and see that instead. I mean, we do see that Karthus is actually AFK, and oh, so this is what happened. Oh, not that much that popular. So we do see what will happen is Soraka is at middle right now, just farming it up, just because Karthus was AFK, and AFK Karthus was OP. And he just comes right back in and has to go back in middle, and we do see probably going to be a 2v1 that middle for a little bit, and then that happening over at top and bottom. So really quickly, right before this kind of ends out, 2v1 at middle, I've seen it before with, wow, that's really kind of sad, but I've seen it before with the just in lane presence with a support and a mid caster, especially with like a pusher like Karthus or a pusher like anyone else. In general, with the 2v1 lane, the most thing you want to do is actually push down this tower. You don't actually need to get the kills. If you want to get the kills, that's fine. You can get the kills and you still own up the game. But you want to push down these towers. Pushing down towers at the early go makes it really hard for everybody else over at top lane, over at bottom lane to do anything but capture any turrets, capture anything else. So when you keep on pushing these towers down over at top lane and over at bottom lane or middle lane, when you have those 2v1s, you can switch over your 1v2 to whoever it was, usually your top lane or your bottom lane, and switch it up to be a 2v2 at top and then the 1v1, while they don't have tower pressure at bottom and they don't have anything else to really cover themselves. So it's a really interesting tactic, and it's used in solo queue sometimes. It's more used over in rank 5 teams and such like that. So really cool to watch out for. I thought there's the replay that did it, but sadly for not, it is not the replay that did it. So that's a very tough thing to watch out for, or to watch for. But if you do see it, no, you can stop that aggression by having the jungler kind of camp the lane with you when they can, while still jungling. I mean, it's really hard to stop the aggression, but if you do have one of those catch junglers like Nocturne, like Maokai, or any of those defensive real junglers, you can just play really defensively, keep the tower up, and get that gank in so that you can catch down onto any of the members of the opposing team. So really quickly, while we are kind of just drifting along with this game, I'm gonna go answer from a few questions, and then we'll just end the show from here. So really quickly, this is actually missed from the earlier episodes. What kind of jungler types are there? Jungler types in the game of League of Legends, like we do see for both teams, I think, is mostly tanky, damage, and support. Well, support or AP. Pretty much support slash tanky is pretty much what you see from most junglers in the game of League of Legends. They try to control as much of the jungles as they can. They try to feed out the lanes and try to give as much kill potential as they can to all the other lanes in general. I mean, tanky junglers like Hecarim, tanky junglers like Sejuani and Maokai, you'll see a lot in tournament play. Sorry, not Sejuani, but at least Hecarim is a decent kind of jungler. Just because they are tanky, they can take some shots. They can provide some CC, and they can provide a lot of bit of utility trying to kill other people. So really good stuff to have once you have that extra CC as well, especially with team comps that purple team has, with Aurelia, with Blade Surge to equalize Zibian Strike, and with from behind 88 Cassiopeia with Petrifying Gaze. Some junglers that you will see that are like AP junglers straight up, or assassination junglers, like a Fiddlesticks, pretty much needs to get a few kills, try to get those items as soon as they can, and actually just provide a lot of AoE massive damage. You'll see that with Fiddlesticks, you'll see that with Shyvana as well a little bit, but Shyvana is more of a counter jungler and can go through and kill everything anyway, so really cool to see when you can get those kind of junglers, but then that means you do lose out on the tanky aspect. Generally, for speaking, on junglers and solo tops, you do see them as a tanky kind of jungler, tanky kind of people anyway, so definitely really cool to see from both teams. What kind of solo top laners are there? Solo top is literally a lane defined by AD Bruiser, AP Bruiser, AP Carry, AD Assassin, and AP Assassin. There's a lot of players that like playing the pretty much the AD Bruiser. AD Bruiser is pretty much the general thing you see at top lane, with especially when you see Deck and Aurelia. Oh, you do see the Brave now right over here before DJ Lambert comes right back in on Blood Shadows. Yeah, this is what you generally see as a top laner. Sorry about that. Aurelia, AD Bruiser, does a lot of damage, kind of just sustain out herself with the Transcendent Blades, and does just, you know, enough to just disable / disrupt into a team fight. Really quickly, definitely one thing that still top laners get the moniker of, they should focus the other carries, right? Such like that. Sometimes that's the jungler's job. Especially if you have like a Nocturne, or if you have somebody that can chase down two people, you want the jungler to really do that. And you kind of need still protection for your AD or AP carry, so most of the time solo top doesn't really do that, and that means your team is probably going to be losing out, because their solo top can still do whatever they can to kind of bruise down. If you can't pull their solo top away from your carries, or you can't pull the jungler away from their carries, well, that means your carries can't provide DPS. That means your carries can't do anything about the DPS, and that means you can't do anything else but probably die, and it'll turn really, really gruesome really quickly. So just as something to note, solo top, if you are the AD Bruiser, you are the AP Bruiser, you want to save and you want to, you know, keep yourself alive by keeping your other teammates alive. If you're an AP or AD Assassin, Talon, Talon, Wukong even, who can go tanky but usually built up Assassin, Riven. You want to engage in the fight, but you still want to make sure that you can give a little bit of protection for your carries. You don't have to give too much protection just because you're that damage dealer that wants to get into maybe a Karthus or maybe a Squishy like the Ezreal player at bottom right now. So you want to do that really, really strongly. So that means you want to get those kills and you want to do that damage. So you want to give like the key burst from Riven to you know, disrupt maybe a jungle fiddle ult or something like that, or disrupt any like engagement from a support, and then just gauge upon the team. So if you are the 80 AP assassin, you want to get in there a little bit later. You don't want to get there in there first, initiate, and then leave your team behind, because most oftentimes than not, you do see the assassin kind of players, because you do see AP assassins like Fizz over middle lane as well. Try to engage in and then don't actually do anything but get their team dead, because they kind of engage in without actually having their team help him actually gauge forward as well. For solo mid, what's the difference of having an AD carry instead of an AP carry? When can you switch an AD carry and slash AD bruiser to mid? Loaded questions, OP. AD carry instead of AP carry. Generally speaking, AD carries are just, you know, the meta is what it is, and you want to keep it stagnant, and you do see it just stay at the bottom lane. Like we were talking about earlier, 2v1 lanes, you probably would see a AD carry over that middle lane instead of AP carry and the support, more than a middle and a support. Just because, you know, the AD carry in general, in the NA terms and even in the EU terms, even in the the Asia Oceanic terms as well. Like, you don't really see the AP carry being paired up as a support, just because it just never usually happens. An AD carry needs a little bit of help in sustaining, just because he doesn't have the earliest or the best of mid games to late games when you don't have that early game help. So that's why you see the AD carry usually stick around with a support. So the only time I would say that a AD carry range could actually go into the middle would be with a support. But you know, you do see the occasional Vayne at middle, you do see like Corki at middle as well. People can actually give out damage through just more text in, through passive abilities, stuff like that, Varus and such, or give out damage as well through burst, like Tristana, like a Corki. When can you switch an AD carry slash AD bruiser to mid? I think the biggest moniker of switching an AD bruiser to mid is when you see a Kassadin. Kassadin has a really great mid game to late game, especially if you do give him the extra bit of time just to farm up just a little bit and get to level 6 and let him roam around and such. It is probably the best mid game slash late game champion. But his early game is super weak. That's why you don't see him too much in the game of League of Legends when you can't get into that early game. We did see, I don't remember who was the top laner for not type A assassins, Azure Blaze, but he did play the Kessin over the top, and that is a really good thing if you're a part of blue and you do have a blue buff available. But yeah, you usually see Kassadin go against the AD Bruiser because an AD Bruiser pretty much gives just out so much damage in that early go and still can actually sustain himself because he is a little bit tankier than a usual carry would be. So that is why Kassadin, you can get kind of counter pick when you can, but even Kassadin can still get help. I mean, all they really need is a good gank, and once they get a good gank, they can still snowball pretty easily. How to last hit on the turrets. I think that will be a notion and a later notion during the back to school night that we'll talk about. And yeah, I think that's about it for the show while we were looking at this game. I mean, it has been a really rushed run. I am sorry about that, guys. Again, this is just because I've been out and about watching some games, watching MLG Arena. You know, that is probably the best thing that happened during this weekend, other than, you know, usual things I do for shoutcasts and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a really cool thing to look at the expansion of this community of League of Legends. Really cool that they did do the season 3 announcement with the better prize support, stuff like that. I mean, it's looking like League of Legends in general is looking like how Warcraft 3 was expanding, and Warcraft 3 expanded so fast. I just hope League of Legends stays up with it and stays true to how they are expanding and how they're giving in. And in technical terms, Riot Games has been doing pretty well with their esports division, and it's been pretty much their number one thing that they really do. I mean, player development, character development on League of Legends, plus the character design and all that stuff. They've been pretty top notch with it. But their number one thing, really, that's really setting aside of the other games in just in the world right now, is their esports division, and that really sets the standard, sets a difference and precedent over everything in League of Legends just right now. So really cool to see them do that. I'm really grateful that Riot's doing the season 3 and gonna go give more money, give some more player support as well. Other than that, thanks again for watching the back to school episode 1 of Learning League, episode 15. There you go. Of Learning League. Thanks again for Definitive Esports, d-esports.com, for hosting the show. It has been an awesome one. Thanks again to all the sponsors, XMG, Antec, Triton, BenQ, and Mad Cats. And also thanks to the people who are watching right now. It is really cool to watch you guys, come here in the chat room, give a little bit of feedback. And again, if you didn't check the Reddit post, or if you didn't check the League of Legends NA post, do check that out. I am looking for 1v2 videos, stuff like that. Like, I want to showcase your talents as well, so do check me out personally on facebook.com/L3IRDgaming. Tell me that you have a video, have a VOD or something of a 2v1 Bruiser lane, or something crazy like maybe Zyra jungle, or maybe new top lane, stuff like that. Because breaking the meta is something that is really cool, but checking out new things, innovation, stuff like that really helps a game makes a game really replayable. Sorry, it really helps a game. Makes the game really replayable, makes the game really not redundant. And once you have that stage where you do have a redundancy, which actually happened for League of Legends for a little bit during Season 2 actually, but once you have that game having a little bit of a new fresh feel or a new thing happening, it'll really get more people back into it. It'll really get more people really interested in the game of League of Legends. So thanks again. I am L3RD, the bird, getting in some words, and I will thank you guys as I can. I will be switching over the stream over to twitch.tv/L3IRD, do some ARAMs with you guys or do stuff like that, but do check me out there, and I am out. Thanks, later.